to the commencement of this session. Sorry we took some time to take care of the clerical aspect of the work. Now we are ready. I am Professor Ayo Abimbola, Department of Science Education, University of Ilorin, Nigeria. Is there any presenter who is going to present in French here? Yes or no? Okay. Let all presenters come to the high table, please. Let all presenters come to the high table, please. Whether you are the sole presenter, co-presenter, and so on and so forth. Yeah, please sit down. Oh, okay. Okay. Officiating with me are two people who will be serving as the rapporteurs. They are Dr. Billy Olajide. Please advance for recognition, please. And Mrs. Oluke Aliyu Ibrahim. As presenters, we have eight persons or groups of persons for now. As time goes on, we may register other people as they come. But we want to start in earnest with these people. First one is Dr. P.O. Omorige and Co. Not yet time for presentation. Dr. Omorige is so eager to present. The second one is Dr. G.I. Odewumi and Co. The third one is Dr. C.M. Adewumi and Co. The fourth one is Dr. S.C. Olawumi and Co. Which one? Adi Olawumi. Okay. So some become take the order. Number 4 is Mr. S.C. Olawumi and Co. Number 5 is Dr. M.A. Adedileji and Co. Number, is it Anko or so presenter? Okay. Number 6 is Dr. A.T. Alabi Anko. I hope it's Anko. Okay. Number 7 is Dr. Aro Duaye Anko. And the last but not the least is Dr. H.O. Owolabi Anko. I understand there's a 9th person, Dr. Mr. Odotu, MB, and Co. So we have 9 groups of presenters. How many minutes do you want us to give each presenter? Democracy now. How many minutes? 5 minutes? Yeah. So we have 1.5 hours for all the presentations. Democracy Okay, 10. International presentations are also usually guided by time. From my own experience, too, depending on the forum, the area of specialization, and so on and so forth, you could only be given 5 minutes. So, can we say 10 minutes? No, 5 minutes. I can see that those who are talking about 5 are mostly our students. We won't make much minute from the 5-minute presentation. 10 minutes, please. Okay. The presenters, how do you want us to take questions? Is it immediately after you put a note down all the questions, and then we react together at the very end? Is that better? That time will be too many. Can we note down the questions? Each presenter will present for 10 minutes. But please note the names of the presenter, the title of the paper, and then you note the questions, the comments, the concerns, and so on and so forth as they present. At the very end, we will address all the questions. Okay? And I hope we'll be able to ask as many questions as possible. The community people, could one of you serve as our timekeeper, or you want the chair to also serve as the timekeeper? Okay. I think we are all okay. Okay. The time now is 12:30. So we would like to listen to Dr. Omorege.
All protocol duly observed. The title of this presentation is Fundamental Influences that Impact on Sustained Involvement in Physical Activity. Physical activities play a vital role in health and well-being, and is an essential factor in promotion of a positive approach to physical and mental health. Creating habits, a childhood of regular physical activity can make it easier to continue such behavior in later years. Involvement in sports or physical activity is considered an important character builder for participants. Through participation, individuals can have fun, enjoyment, learn and develop life skills, make new friends, and experience sport or physical activity in a way that will enhance their personal growth in life. Hence, the need to examine fundamental influences that impact sustained involvement in physical activity. There are some certain key areas of key influence that we must note in participating in physical activity that give opportunity. These are cultural influence, image and fashion influences, resources influences, socio-economic influences. Now, talking about the cultural influences, there are some area or elements that must be considered or controlled. You have age. And when you look at age can put limits on what sports an individual may take up. Depending on the size of the club, they may have a team at each age group. And when you look at it, you find out that younger people tend to have a wide variety of opportunity to access sports clubs or participate in sporting activities. Either team schools encourage mass participation during their physical lesson, or extend to other clubs when they are able to participate in extramural, which is out of the school involvement. Other aspect in cultural influence is disability. And you agree with me that sport is encouraged to all regardless of disability. But oftentimes we compete with those that are disabled. But now it is better for us to allow sports to be often taking place against those group or mix that are able-bodied. In view of that, most facilities cater for disabled access, and other they cater for the all that are not disabled. Another aspect considered in this cultural influences is gender, and this is the main core of this bone of contention. Whether I say bone of contention in the world today, male and females are both encouraged to take part in sports, but generally both sexes compete against the same gender to ensure fairness. But situation whereby we have a sport that involve mixed double. When we say mixed double, you have both male and female pairing up. In such view, we have men in an aspect of participating in sports that are more aggressive, and female participating in sports that are lesser aggressive or that doesn't take any contact. And nowadays we find out that instead of allowing the female aspect to exert their own willpower, their own power of influence, there is need for them to compete in the contact sport in order to make sure their aggressiveness is not sustained within them. Based on that, you have women's sports. Women enjoy also the competitive side of sports and increase numbers, either joining a gymnasium in order to participate in social issues. But when you look at the aspect of female participation, like what I said, they participate in lesser sport that doesn't involve contact sport that will maybe mark their shape or their faces. They prefer participating in sport that have lesser contact or more appearances that will make their shape body, like having a very good physique, slim body, slim powers, and also. But in doing that, there is an aspect that during the IOC conference in 2004, that an issue was raised that women should be given what? Equity. Alongside participating in different sports, that means they should allow to participate in all sports, so as to bring the beauty of encouraging both gender in different sports.
And then we took down the questions, comments, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much.
No question?
No, not immediately. They've noted the questions. Yeah. The second person or group of persons is you want to
yes.
Which one is not? The next person now is Dr. L.A. Adedimeji. The paper is on page 33.
The chairman, distinguished participants, thank you for having me. The title of my paper is Winning with Words, the Semantics of Muhammad Ali's Verbal Punches. I have a broad outline: the story, the theory, the analysis, and the synthesis. We begin with the story. Deadline was October 30, 1974. Venue was in Zaza, Zaire. Two great men were poised to fight. The boxing bout was tagged Rumble in the Dumble. There was George Foreman, who had put his medal a year earlier in Jamaica, when he knocked out the well-known Joe Frazier 6 times in 2 rounds before the referee stopped the bout. Joe Frazier was before then the undisputed heavyweight champion, and there was also Muhammad Ali, who was beaten in an earlier fight dubbed the fight of the century, on points by Joe Frazier, though the fight had visible impacts on the two men. The encounter this day, on October 30, 1974, was between Foreman and Ali. The African jungle, as it was referred to, was Kinshasa. But something happened before the day. Before the day, Mobutu Sese Seko had hosted the 2 Africans in Kinshasa, and they were attending press conferences. Muhammad Ali was witty, he had his way with the words, he was poetic, he was funny, and many people liked him. As the fight was about to start, that was supposed to George Foreman. As the fight was about to start, pardon that, the 60,000 spectators started shouting, Ali, Bomaye, Ali, Bomaye, Ali, Bomaye, Ali, kill him. Ali won the audience himself. Though he got the bombs delivered by Foreman, he succeeded in giving Foreman his first career knockout. He had won the people with words, so that when he received punches from Foreman, his opponent was good. But when he delivered his, he was killed. A man who knows how to use words often has his ways. Then, who is Muhammad Ali? So, born on January 17, 1942, he came into boxing by chance when his bicycle was stolen. And then he saw a policeman, he said, I'm going to be the thief. And the man told him, the man was a boxer. If you want to fight anybody, the first thing you know how to do is to learn how to box. And then the police officer started to train Muhammad Ali. He was always talking because he was born in Lusbai. He was known as Lusbai Lee because he was always talking. When he was in Olympic in 1960, he was so much in the news because he had his way with words, to the extent that people began to know him as the mayor of the Olympic village. Many of his people, his fellow athletes, did not like him very much because he always took the shine out of them. This is part of the introduction that I'm making. That he had his challenges. At the end of the day, he had 61 professional fights over a period of 21 years. But one thing that was remarkable, which makes him to be the subject of this presentation, is the fact that he had communicative competence through which he was able to achieve his purpose, and he was popular. The second segment has to do with the theory. I'm using the semantic theory. There is an interface, there is a connection, the relationship of interdependence among culture, language, and semantics. Culture is the sum total of human experience, and language operates within a particular culture. So you cannot have a culture without a language that expresses it, and language itself is a key component of any culture. By the time you now look at language too, it is studied under various levels: phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. The whole essence of language is to communicate meaning. That is why the most important function of language is to generate and transmit meaning.
I hope all our participants have seen that it's a privilege to be around at this time, because WAEC doesn't take place every year. So congratulations. And the next person is Dr. Mrs. Adewu.
Permit me to stand on the existing protocol while I present a paper titled Sport Science and the Promotion of Health and Fitness. So let me quickly take an apology. The PowerPoint cannot open, so I'm sorry for that. So please bear with me. This paper I'm presenting dealt with 1. Importance of sport science in the promotion of health and fitness in relation to sports medicine, exercise physiology, sports psychology, sports nutrition, and conditioning. Secondly, it also makes some elaborate discourse on health, fitness, and physical fitness in addition to cardiorespiratory health, musculoskeletal health that are achievable through participation in sporting activities. And thirdly, negative impact of these use of the human body, system, and organs were also highlighted in this paper. Firstly, let me quickly go to sport science and the promotion of health and fitness. Sports science and the promotion of health and fitness in many of man's endeavors, be it competitive sports, fitness for going about daily adults, health and fitness for driving, farming, going to work, and contributing to the gross domestic product is the cardinal thing, and without which many of human transactions will not be accomplished. Then, what do we have in the area of sports science? According to AHEL 2006, some of the areas of sports science are sports and exercise psychology, biomechanics, exercise physiology, sports, nutrition, strength and conditioning linked specifically to performance enhancement and in the area of injury care and management. What is health? If you look into the definition of health, if you start to look into many definitions, we won't leave this case today, which is the list is endless, the definition of health. But for the purpose of this paper, I will just give you that provided by World Health Organization, which says health is more than absence of diseases, but entails physical, mental, social well-being, and absence of diseases and infirmity. This tells us that we are all good looking, we dress fine, we are here to listen to presenters. Looking good, that doesn't sum it up that we are healthy. According to who? Before we can say somebody is healthy, physically you must be sound. Mentally, you must be okay. Socially, you must be fine. And you must not have any disease. There are so many people that are looking good, looking fine, but they have chains of diseases in them. But before you can satisfy this definition, all these factors must be satisfied. That is according to World Health Organization. Ikulayo and Adom in 2011 have summed it up that health is optimal well-being that contributes to quality of life, and it is more than freedom from disease and illness. And without any doubt, sporting activity assists individuals to achieve all these that I have mentioned.
Listen, I hope you have jotted down the questions, the comments, and so on and so forth. The next person is Mr. Ojotu, MB, Aho, to be presented by Dr. Morige. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the title of this paper is Organized Competitive Sports has a unifying factor for gender mainstreaming, culture, and religion among selected African countries. Introduction. Sport is a prominent social institution in almost every society because it combines the characteristics found in any institution with a unique appeal, only duplicated by perhaps religion and cultural heritage. The role sport plays. The role of sport in international relations and national development dramatize the political meaning of sport to many society. Hence, the healthy and active lifestyle promoted through sport help build strong, confident, and independent people in cultures all around the world. Hence, participation in sport has been linked to success. Sport plays the roles of bringing people together in a similar way, whether it is professional, casual, or intramural. This has made sports not just about the statistics and the great play, but of course stars and people who shine at all levels of play. And you agree with me, swimming is one of the top academic performing sports, along with tennis, track and field, whereby athletes are better able to keep to tasks and stay organized. Based on that, this study explored organized competitive sports as a unifying factor for gender mainstreaming, culture, and religion among African countries. Looking at gender mainstreaming and sports participation, sport is a social and cultural processes in which social construction of masculinity and femininity play a key role. It is traditionally associated with masculinity in the sense that it is believed that it's only men that participate in sport, those that are strong, but women are looked down to in participation. In so doing, it is evident that there is no one masculinity or femininity, and sport will provide a space where masculinity and femininity are renegotiated rather than reaffirmed in the dominant acceptation. Despite the fact that at least in some markets an increasing number of women compose the workforce, sports may be valued when practiced by men and be seen as a waste of time when practiced by women. But these days, it is still practiced by both men and women. Why gender equality in sports? Gender equality is a fundamental goal of development and belongs to the basic and universally recognized civil, cultural, economic, political, and social rights. Worldwide, women are less frequently seen participating in sporting activities than men. Thus, sport for girls as well as for boys should be encouraged. Gender mainstreaming entails looking at how the reproductive, productive, community managing, and constituency-based politics roles are negotiated between and among women and men. Analyzing women's and men's level of access to and control over resources and considering their practical and strategic gender needs. Looking at culture, value, and then sport participation, you agree with me that society and culture involve overall participation of men and women in sports and physical activity. Participation of men and women in organized sports, attendance of men and women at sporting events, such as made it to be a situation whereby sports are the same in every language and culture. Because sports are easy to understand and don't necessarily require language. They bind the nations of the earth together through a common denominator that we call sports and...
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Professor Lasso Emiola, the President of the West African University Games. And I believe I will be one of those who have the little authority to talk about the West African University Games in WAWU. That's why I want to share with you the objectives and what we have done so far in WAWU with the title WAWU and the Integration of West African Games. Yes. The WAWU did not start as WAWU. It started as some bilateral sports between the University of Ibadan and University of Ghana, Legon. It is that one that metamorphosed into the present West African University Games when other universities then joined. And that started in 1965 with Ibadan hosting the first games. It was Manuel that donated a cup, a trophy for that competition, and therefore the first one was held there in Ibadan. 1964 was when the game was donated, and then the game started in 1965. Since that time, we have been having the games from various places, and the last one, which is the 12th one, was held in University of Ghana, Legon. Now the 13th WAWU Games, which is currently holding, is in the University of Ilorin in Nigeria. We have moved around West Africa before now. What are the main objectives of WAWU? The West African University Games has 3 major objectives. One, to encourage and promote excellence in sport within and among member universities, to establish link and promote integration, unity and friendship among university students of West Africa, who we believe are our leaders of tomorrow. We believe that if we have these competitions among them, it will be like in those days when we have Kwame Nkrumah, Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, and some other people, and Baba Boye in Cote d'Ivoire. They were so close, and so we believe that if the young ones of today are brought together, when they become our politicians tomorrow, they will have known each other very well. We will have more peace and more stability in our politics in West Africa. The third objective, to strengthen good understanding and peace among youth of West Africa through friendly sports competition. You know, we call sports war with friendly arms. It's a competition, but it's a friendly competition. You don't, even in boxing and wrestling, nobody fights to kill another person. If it happens, it's an accident. All you want to do is show that you are superior to the other person in skill. You don't want to kill anybody. So it is war with friendly arms. Direct impact of WAWU so far I was going to talk about. It will not be an exaggeration to say WAWU has created unprecedented sport enthusiasm among the youth of West Africa. Judging from the number of encouraging letters from vice chancellors and telephone calls, emails we have received from our program so far, from coaches and athletes, making inquiries about WAWU programs. WAWU programs and activities have become something to look forward to by our university athletes, their officials, and administrators. Some of the impacts of WAWU are as follows. For high-level competition among them, you can see some of the competitions we have held. We have them in swimming, you have them in handball, you have them in volleyball, and then we have them in athletics and every other thing. We have provided the opportunity for them to showcase their skills and talents. And I'm proud to say there are many athletes who have been part of their national and international competitions, having been WAWU athletes. One of them has gone to represent their countries in the All Africa Games. Even within the university competition, they move from their national association competition to WAWU, from there to All Africa University Games, and then to the World University Games. So we have been able to provide them avenue for skill, performance, and then they can compete with anybody within, even in the world. Second one is one of the major objectives of any institution or any country to host a big time competition is opportunity to develop their sports infrastructure. And we are very proud that we move our competition around from one university to the other, from one country to the other, and we don't leave a place without leaving a legacy. And that legacy will be the sports facilities. Example is what we have seen in Ilorin. Just some few months ago, we don't have what we have now, a beautiful 8-lane tartan track. That has not been there. Just 2 months ago, you will see this. We have developed 2 beautiful pavilions, which was not there. There was an old pavilion. We have improved, instead of sitting on cement, you now sit on very beautifully colored plastic seats. And we made a second one on this side. You can see that. I saw a lot of athletes running there this morning. I felt so good. We have a new handball court. We have improved on our basketball and volleyball courts. Not only in Ilorin. Go to the University of Ghana where we had the games from 4 years ago. They now have a beautiful tartan track completed. They built a swimming pool. Unfortunately, we could not use it because they use the old style. Not that the swimming pool is not useful, but now, it will have been like a death trap because you have a swimming pool with the diving pool the same place. So we couldn't swim there, but at least it's still a facility they can use it for recreation, not for competition. Not only that, go to Legon today, you will have about 8 soccer pitches. Yes, 8 soccer pitches. Not only because of WAU, they have this, the various country clubs in Europe have their youth program on their campus. I think we should be able to encourage this type of things. We should bring in these clubs from everywhere within Nigeria and let them come and build facilities and continue to use it. Will be useful for our own students too. That is how they got about 8 football pitches. We just finished in Akure our 3rd championship. From that, they are able also to develop their own track. They improved on their tennis courts. As we move around, we develop these sport facilities, and that is a plus. That's one of the objectives, and we are happy we are achieving that. Now, socio-cultural impact is not only competition. A lot of our students they are like some people I call them Alangaiko. These are people who live on the island and they never cross the Kata Bridge. So they don't know what is happening in the university or everywhere. We have them among our students too.
Just one more minute.
Thank you. They graduate without knowing any place. But here, we bring them around to know the cultures of people. They eat different food from places. They know places. Go on. You can see various different dresses. They now know there are cultural dresses from one place to the other, from one place to the other. All Baba chancellors of West Africa member universities for their contribution and for their support so far. We have become the ECOWAS youth competition. In fact, we are giving back to the first ECOWAS Games. It was our visit to Ouagadougou, where we have ECOWAS Ministry of Youth and Sport Center, that we introduced WAU to them. They now say, you are beating us to it. The only first game we had was in Abuja some 2-3 years ago. So we are the champion. We have led, instead of the father leading to the child that has now brought the father up. We are very proud of that. So we want to thank God. We still calling on various corporate bodies to come in and assist. We want our products from WAU to be able to compete in FASU and FISU. World University Games, all African University Games. They cannot do this alone. We need assistance. As the minister said in the morning, it is not government and government. It is private, public partnership. Our universities want assistance to these our athletes, and we can get them through participation in WAU Games. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you, sir. The next presenter is is it another one?
Session. And since the last existing protocol was very professional, I want to stand on that because of time. The name is Olawumi S.A. Anadikiton, Fathers of Sport Science and Health Education, Fathers of the University. And the topic is Sports Development Culture, Strategic Management and Peace in Nigeria. Getting to the introduction, we all know that in Nigeria, sports constitutes a strategic, unified national institute. Either you are a Yoruba man, an Hausa man, you are an Igbo man, Christian or Muslim, even if you are a traditional worshiper. You see people throwing away their differences when it comes to sports. Especially when you have a major competition, you see Nigerians rallying around to make sure we are all there to embrace sports. It is common to hear people of fans in Nigeria showing total support for teams in the English Premiership just because there is one or two or more Nigerians or even black Africans playing for such clubs. Over the years, Nigerians have embraced football, particularly as a culture that every Nigerian wants to watch. That is why in many occasions blames and abuses are rained on sport administrators and governments if Nigeria fail to qualify for any major competition. For any major competition, you see people raising abuses on either sport administrators or government. We have the example in under 17, under 20, and senior World Cup competitions. Now, in view of the above, this paper is how to examine the concept of strategic sports management, sports development culture by FIFA, the largest sporting organization in the world, and resolutions on sports for development and peace in Nigeria. The concept of strategic management in sport. Strategy will be defined as a unified, comprehensive, and integrated plan designed to ensure that the basic objectives of an organization is achieved. It is a document that represents the strategic direction, list of objectives and records the actions that will be taken to meet the objective. It's also a process whereby managers or organizations set specific performance objectives, develop strategies to achieve these objectives in the light of all relevant internal and external circumstance action plans. Now, when we look at the concept of cultural components of strategic planning, we see that it's about defining and development of the strategic vision as for establishing the direction the organization is to go. It's also about establishing strategic objectives and performance targets, formulating a strategy to achieve the strategic objectives or targeted results, implementing and executing the chosen strategic plan, and so on. Now, we have the strategic management process model as exhibited by Thompson and Strickland Let's go to FIFA development culture. The culture is the total way of life. Ways by which things are done in an organization. FIFA's commitment to the development of sport, especially football, is not only evident in its status, but in its actions as well. We have an example in the South African 2010, where FIFA held the last World Cup, and we know all that went into that. And this culture is what they are trying to bring from one continent to the other, from one nation to the other. And that is why our own football governing body in Nigeria, we cannot do anything outside the statutes and the culture of FIFA if actually we are to move football, especially forward in this country. Time will not permit me to show us clips of people rejoicing and praising either in whatever shades of color or creed. But we know that FIFA is committed to promoting and developing world football with structured youth and development programs at the very core of its activities. FIFA also coordinates its strategies in line with the development programs of the 6 confederations. Now, we have a conceptual framework of FIFA Football Culture Development Program, and we can see the infrastructural development, financial assistance, education, technical and research, medicine. Talking about medicine, you are talking about the state-of-the-art medical research on injury, occurrence and prevention, combating doping practices. We are all witnesses to what happened recently in the Premiership. And, when you listen to commentaries, people say if that was to be in Nigeria, in fact, they would have buried that person before they even told members of the family. Not to talk of staying for close.
What about the papers?
Mr. Chairman, other presenters, I want to stand on the existing protocol. It's now a culture for everybody to stand on the existing protocol. So I want to do the same. My name is Adekiton Bade. The title of the paper presented to you this afternoon is Roles of Sports and Culture in Promotion of Social Harmony and Development. The introduction. Sport and culture are household affairs of every nation throughout the world. We are all aware that today we can hardly say or talk about anything in this country or all over the world without talking about sport and culture. Though culture has different meanings to different people. But one thing that is sure and certain is that culture cannot be divorced from sports, politics, economics, technology, science, communication, but just to mention but a few. There is a hypothesis which holds the view that sport historically appears most probably as one of the old components of general human culture. This hypothesis emanates as a result of the fact that sport is giving an ever larger space in media at the expense of culture. Some people believe that sport is taking over culture. So they believe that culture is being given, is being projected than culture in the society. This hypothesis we are talking about, some people believe that culture is part of sport. So culture cannot be separated in any form from the sport. Now, what is sport? Here, sport. The word sport was derived its meaning from Anglo-Saxon word disport, which means to divert oneself or people's attention from rigors and pressure of daily life. Some writers see sport as completing physical activities with formal rules organized for leisure. Some define sport as a game of occurrence or events. Some see sport as an institutionalized game. By this, they mean formulation of a set rule of game, e.g., football and so on. They have been used by different countries as legitimate instrument for foreign policy and a vehicle to show the country's mode and value system, unification instrument for the people or peoples within the state. Sport and culture promote social harmony and development. Sport and culture is an indispensable tool for social cohesion and transformation. Recommendations. Based on what we have discussed so far, the paper recommends as follows: that the federal and state government should back up the sport policy with meaningful concrete actions. It is not enough, not only enough to produce policies, but these policies must be backed up with the meaningful concrete actions. It is also important to create awareness among people, the importance, the value, the roles of culture and sport. Because some people, like the first section of this paper, people were talking about religion and culture and government. This is the right time to separate religion from culture. From sport from religion. Religion stands on its own, culture stands on its own. So we should make people to be aware of that. Government must also take concrete steps to ensure that policies are implemented, not just to make policy. Government should also direct all schools and the federation to employ qualified PhD teachers, that is, physical and health pedagogy teachers, so that they will be able to teach about this.
Good day, sir, and other participants. This is one paper that I expect to interest every participant here. The title of the paper is Sports, safety, nutrition, and effective management of early childhood education in Kwara State, and by extension in Nigeria. The paper discussed the concept of early childhood education, the pattern of early childhood education before 2004, and even up to present time, the relationship between sports and early childhood education, nutrition and early childhood education, and how we hope that this level of education is expected to be run in this country. Yes, the concept of early childhood education implies the concept of early childhood education as used in this paper depicts the types of education which our children receive between the ages of 2 and 5 years old. And we all know that early childhood education is a very important stage for development of our children in terms of their mental, social, psychological, and physical development. We are well familiar with the development of these children. Their characteristics, when we talk of physical characteristics, they are very agile. They want to move from one place to another. You see them running, jumping, kicking, and other things. So this level of education is the type of education that has been run in this part of the country by different individuals before the enactment of 2004 National Policy on Education, which brought in this aspect of education known as the primary education into our national policy document. Because of what, thank you for listening, and I believe that we have done one thing or the other from the management of ECCB program. God bless you and thank you.
Dr. Duayanko.
Of you to present a paper titled Financial Secondary School Education, Implication for Sports Development in Nigeria. Abstract. This study investigated the implication of financing on secondary school education in Nigeria. So the key terms examined are finance, education, sports, secondary school, and facilities. Introduction. Education remains the major instrument to every nation development, which means that no nation can develop outside its education system. So this can be seen from the Western countries. The reason why they refer to as advanced and developing countries is because of their level of education. So, and the same thing applies to Nigeria. Day in, day out, we are talking about system of education 2020. All this is just to improve the level of our education so that within a short period of time, we'll be among the advanced country. So the review of literature was under financial secondary education, the role of sports, and the reality is portrays the issue development of secondary education in Nigeria from the colonial era to the present day. Okay, role of sports. Sport are all forms of physical activities which through casual or organized participation aim to use, maintain and improve physical fitness, and provide entertainment to both participants and spectators. Sport may be competitive where a winner or a loser can be identified by objective means. Hundreds of sport exist, which include those for a single participant, a small team, or those with hundreds of simultaneous participants, either in teams or competing as individuals. Sports are all forms of outdoor and indoor activities or exercises, such as athletics and games, which